was so unbelievable is if you go and you turn on MSNBC or you watch Late Night or you hear some of the people from places that I used to work, they're telling us that the problem is not Kamala Harris, the problem is not the Democrats, the problem is not an elite that many Americans, frankly including a lot of alienated Democrats, are pissed off about. They're telling you the problem is actually the voters. And that the people that voted for Trump in this country are racist, misogynistic, bigoted.
Which is the majority of the country.
Fascist regime. And I just think that that's not looking at reality. It's basically saying, like, more cowbell. You know, it's saying, like, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
I don't mean to reach past here, but I was trying to find this quote that we found earlier today. I thought it really just nailed it, right? I don't have it right. I'll dig that.
Too many papers.
I know, but I'm old school. Question to you.
Yes.
You mentioned, like, liberal media outlets, et cetera. If you listen to them today, they're asking this question as to whether or not the progressive movement is dead. And the reason they're asking that question is, can the Democratic Party win on this progressive policies yet again? Now, what is your view on that? As whether or not you need to step into it, lean into it, or run like hell?
Of course Democrats can win. They can win by embracing actual progressive policies. In other words, policies that advance the interests, especially the economic interests, of working class Americans. That's what the Democratic Party was always about. Why is Trump winning? He's stolen a lot of the ideas of, frankly, the old school Democratic Party. He ran on things that, 30 years ago would have been considered mainstream Democratic ideas. The idea of a strong border, the idea of, the idea of elevating the working class, the idea of tackling inflation, the idea of, more isolationist policies. Like, these were not traditional Republican policies. So how can progressives win again? By looking at what went wrong here, by taking this moment and allowing it not to be a retrenchment of the idea of, half of Americans want a fascist regime. They don't. They want a good life for themselves and their families. And actually looking in the mirror, it turns out that running on these extraordinarily niche issues like gender fluidity or defunding the police or any number of things that people in places where I live get extremely excited about don't actually matter or frankly feel profoundly out of touch to ordinary Americans. So if progressive is about, these niche issues that you find on college campuses and in gender studies department, and you want to keep doubling down on that, you're going to continue to lose.
I feel like the Democrats they used to focus on inequality, but they chose to just focus on gender and racial inequality and forgot about class inequality. And the opportunity economy that she came up with was really lame. I want to play this for you, though. This is a montage of late night hosts. Just because I haven't actually, I'm seeing this cold. I've read it, but I want to see it. Let's play it here.
Hey there. How are you doing? If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither.
Well, guys, last night America decided to get back with the crazy ex and elect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
It was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him, and guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
It's not even fun. I could write better jokes.
Well, I think one of the great stories of this election, frankly, is the rise of new media and the power of new media. You had one campaign, again, this has nothing to do with, love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump. Objectively, they ran a campaign in which both candidates, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, went on 3-hour-long podcasts with people like Theo Vaughn and J.D. Vance and Tim Dillon. They embraced a new media. They embraced platforms like X. And then you had another candidate who was scripted to within an inch of her life. And only sort of in the last several weeks of the campaign, when they realized that they couldn't run on the fact that she simply wasn't the other guy, they sort of started, she did Call Her Daddy and a number of other things like that. But the look at the numbers.
Yeah.
The people that you just showed, they're not speaking to the average American voter. They're not even speaking to massive numbers of people.
I feel like they're just spitting into the wind.
Yeah,
and that's the election result too.
Yeah.
Hunter, it's a good deal though. Neither one of them can afford to not take the deal. I don't feel like it. Because they'll just delay his prison sentence for 4 years. Because the CIA will stop them from arresting the president. I guarantee you that. It'll be a bloodbath. You probably won't be able to find a cop, period, be willing to put him in handcuffs, to be honest with you. Fuck. Got it talking to y'all. Fuck around, lost my gun. Is that what it said? They were looking to cut a deal? Huh? Is that what it said on the bottom of the screen?
Moments ago, Marine veteran Daniel Penny arriving in court as his subway so-called trial resumes here in New York City has the latest.
Also, another explosion of wildfires forcing thousands to evacuate.